Hi, welcome to Swipers Anonymous, the podcast hosted by me, Anna.
And me, Gabby.
We both decided to have this show despite having no online dating experience because, like many of you, we were curious about it.
As a disclaimer, some themes and languages may not be suitable for audiences under the age of 18. The views of the interviewees are not necessarily the views of the hosts and the show. We are not professionals in any way in relationships and the like. Listener discretion is advised.
Due to some privacy concerns, some of our interviewees have requested use of a fictitious name for purposes of this podcast. All right, we hope you enjoy listening as much as we enjoyed recording.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Gabs. So today, I guess this is just a bit of an experiment that you and I are doing, but today we are talking to, who are we talking to? You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Elisa.
So Liz and I have been like friends since we
Or
were
Liz.
Schliz
My
too.
nickname, yeah.
we've been friends since maybe like we were in diapers. No, I think by 5 years old we were out of our diapers. But we've been friends for a while. Anna and I, go Anna. Why are we doing this?
So
why are we doing
so
this?
basically, Gabs and I have been in relationships for ever. Some of like
12 years for me.
Yeah, me like 9 years. And so there was no Tinder, there was no anything at that time. And we've been living vicariously through people, swiping on their behalf. We're not going to name who they are, criticizing them. But the thing is, like, we've never actually experienced it ourselves. And we are really curious. And I'm sure a lot of other people are too, because as we know, there's a stigma still, I think. I mean,
there's definitely still
And
a
it can be
stigma
scary.
when it comes to online dating.
Like for me, my concern would definitely be security.
Yeah.
And like, how do you know who to trust? So we thought we'd start this thing to not just live vicariously, as Anna said, but also like for anyone who's going to be a first time Tinder user, Bumble user, and all the others.
OkCupid user or OKC
or Grindr or whatever you're into. But basically, we just want to help maybe get rid of the stigma, or if maybe you don't have anyone to ask, this can help because I don't know who your friends are, so maybe they're not cool and.
Maybe they're like desperate chicks who say yes to everyone.
Whoa.
Dude.
Let's not go there. Okay.
Unpopular opinions.
This
is true.
I mean, honestly, I kind of think of it the same as like if you meet, like my husband and I, we had met at a birthday party. I mean, the odds are the same as if you meet someone on Tinder. I mean, like it's just as random, right?
Sean and I have been dating for 12 years, and we met in like some friend's house. Actually, we don't even know how we met.
House party, was
probably a house party. Yeah.
So it's just random, and I think Tinder, at least Tinder, actually, if you think about it, or any of the other online things, they have algorithms, and so they're supposed to help you cut through the garbage.
Are they?
I think.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask Liz.
Yeah, it's actually safer to go with the route of online dating because you are required to make a profile. There is an algorithm that's being followed, and there is a science behind cutting out who is not good for you based on profile. So you talk about yourself before you put yourself out there and start swiping left and right. The app already selects possible matches for you or possible partners that you would be attracted to based on the information you give.
See, Liz just totally blew my mind because I always thought Tinder was about distance. Like I always thought it was like people in Tinder within 5 kilometers, people in Tinder within 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
And you could just broaden that scope. And I thought it would just show you everyone within 5 meters.
No.
5 kilometers.
No, because you also choose your filters. Like, for example, on OkCupid, you have to answer 20 questions before they make your profile public. Are you in this for a relationship or for fun?
Yeah.
How many do you want to have kids or not? What's your star sign? Where did you go to school? What country are
Is there
you
like an
from?
undecided there? Like,
What languages do you speak? What your religion is? What are you looking for in a partner?
Wow.
And all those things. So
so if I were a Catholic person looking to become Jewish, I could put there that I would
yes,
still
you
be
can
able to.
you can answer that question that says you're open to any ethnicity, any
This is
religion.
mind-blowing.
You only want to match with people who speak specific languages.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So it's very detailed.
I know somebody who went on Tinder before when she just moved to a foreign country, and she said that she was on it to find friends. Now, is that true? Is that a thing?
works? That works. I did have a match on Tinder one time where the guy actually said he swiped right because he saw that I was from a specific college in the Philippines. And because of that, he thought I'm smart because of the reputation of the college.
Okay.
And he wanted to be my friend. Like, he wasn't necessarily attracted to me or wanting to sleep with me.
Did he
but-
say that? Like, I'm not necessarily
Yeah,
attracted
he
to
said
you.
he wanted to meet friends, and he also added that he wanted to network because I think he was in startup business. So he was looking at schools and career backgrounds.
Was he looking
when
to
he was
hire?
browsing through profiles because he was either looking to hire or make friends to network.
Oh no, is this an
With
MLM
people.
guy? Like, is he an MLM?
No, he wasn't MLM. I can't remember actually what his business was.
Did you guys become friends?
But no,
You never told me about this.
I never ended up meeting him in person. He wasn't that interesting, to be
Ouch.
honest. So
Okay, so I guess we should start with what made you first do it.
okay.
What?
When did you start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was June of 2016.
So specific.
I had just moved back home to the Philippines after having worked abroad for a number of years. And so a former colleague came to visit, and he was telling me that, I was telling him I've been home for a year. I'm still single. I feel like I'm not going to meet anyone. I feel like times have changed. I feel like I've been gone from home for so long, and I don't really know where to place myself back into the dating scene because people are different now. Things are different. And he said, why don't you try this app called Tinder? It's a dating app. And I mean, I've gone on really nice dates. I've met a couple of girls. It's pretty fun. You should try it. And I said, I'm from the Philippines. It's a very conservative country. I don't think people are open to those things. And he was like, just give it a try. Keep an open mind. Don't expect too much. And just let me know how it goes. So I set it up and started swiping and started chatting with guys, meeting guys, talking to them. And 2 months later, I met someone that I ended up in a long-term relationship with. So, yeah, it did work in a way.
I'm assuming you're not with this guy again. I'm not assuming. I know this.
Just for other people who don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but just to give some inspiration to the listeners out there, it did turn into I only met up with one person, and we ended up in a 3-year relationship. And it's to remove. I'm telling the story to remove that stigma that Tinder is just for hookups.
Tinder's
Or
for the
everyone
Netflix and chill.
on dating apps are just looking for a good time.
But there are a lot.
Definitely there are a lot. The same way that a lot of guys in bars are only looking for sex, a lot of guys in clubs are only looking for sex.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women are also always looking for sex.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
Do you think it takes away that like mystery? Like you meet a guy, like a good-looking guy in a bar. not so good looking guy in the bar. You know, and like, you know, that whole like cat and mouse chase excitement of, because in Tinder it's like, well, he said he was looking for a relationship. Well, he said he was only
Yeah.
looking for fun. Do you think it takes that away? Like,
Yeah.
getting to know the person, or like, do you
Well-
prefer it? Do you think it's better?
Some people are upfront on their profiles. You can already see right away that they're looking for something serious or they're looking for fun. And girls are the same as well. A lot of them are saying they're looking for fun or they're looking for something serious. But I personally don't put that on my profile because for me, I usually put I don't know what I'm looking for, because you don't like I don't like putting too many tags because you don't know who you're gonna meet, how it's gonna go, how it's gonna flow, you know.
So you don't want to like box yourself in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that could easily lead to eliminating so many potential matches.
Yeah.
You know, so it's more about your first point of meeting, you know, your first hi, hello to each other, and how it goes from there. You know, like, hi, what's your name? Where do you go to school? Where do you grow up? You don't look Filipina. What languages do you speak? What brings you to the Philippines? You know, those are the standard
That's
Q&A introduction.
I would have to put Filipina
Which
in all
would be the
caps at mine if
same
I ever
if you
started
think
one.
about it. Like in real life, if a friend were to set you up with a friend, let's say blind date, it would work. You'd still have the same template for your first Q&A. Or a guy walks up to you in a bar or in a coffee shop, it would still be the same. You know, hi, hello, what's your name? How old are you? Where are you from? What do you like to do? You know,
Age, sex, location.
Age, sex.
Oh my god,
location.
you're showing our age. No.
I am fine being called
ASL.
a Lola.
Titas of Manila.
Titas of Manila.
Okay, well, I guess like when you swipe, what were at least your considerations? Because I know some people are like, you should just swipe on everything, and it's like, oh no, or like,
No, I
do
think
you?
that-
yeah, exactly. Like I know someone who just swipes on everyone. Like that was how
This
he
is
tried to go.
probably a male friend.
It's a guy, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for you, like because like I know in some other cultures it's like they don't want you to put your picture or something like
Yeah.
that. So like I guess in you, like what were things like red flags or anything that you saw in like when you were swiping?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What'd you
when
look
it
for?
comes to swiping, I am very shallow because it all
I think that's fair.
depends on your first profile picture.
Mm.
And the only question I ask myself is this person hot or not? That's it.
And it's fair because they're probably
you know,
thinking the same
it's
thing
quite-
of your
It's
profile.
very time consuming to actually read through a profile of a complete stranger that, you know, on the picture alone, he's not even good looking. Why would I even care to have a conversation?
What if he's not
with
photogenic
him?
though? Like what if he's like really
That has happened. So they have this thing on online
Or
dating.
worse, if he is
that they
photogenic
call-
but not as good looking in person.
Oh no.
So they have this thing in online dating where they call it catfishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Tell us about that.
So I've been catfished.
When? Okay, now you have to tell
Don't
us.
say names.
Look,
Look,
no names, no names.
just
So
because
catfish in the sense that there's this guy on Tinder and his photos, he's dressed really well. He's got fancy clothes, fancy pair of shades. He obviously goes to the gym a lot. And he's good looking in the photos. So I swipe right and we start chatting. And I'm so excited to meet him because he's really interesting. You know, we have a lot in common. And when we finally do meet in person, he looks nothing like what he looks like in his photos. And it's funny because he actually told me after that first physical meeting that I hate to admit this, but you look even prettier in person than
Oh my
you
God.
do in your photos. And it took me a while to reply to that one, you know, because initially, you know, you want to return the compliment,
Yeah.
But you don't want to be fake
know
about it.
how to, and how do you tell a person that, oh, you should change your photos because it's quite deceiving. Like, it's good that you have a great personality, because something could still work out there with the personality thing, but it's quite deceiving to put photos of yourself online and then surprise the person.
Was
by
it a
not-
different person in the pictures, or like just
No.
really well photoshopped?
It was just really well photoshopped. It was the
Oh.
same person, but he was using really old photos,
Filtered.
filtered.
I don't even
yeah.
think I know what a filter is, but I know that it's a word.
Actually, I know someone
Yeah.
who he was really self-conscious about that because he started online dating and he had these pictures where he had no pimples, no scars, nothing. And so he was scared because he started getting acne scars like recently, and he was like, should I put a picture that has some of those so that the girl doesn't feel like I'm lying to her? And I was like, yeah, I guess, but I'm surprised. Like, that's really big of you because most guys just wouldn't do that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
lie.
I'd
I
use my
think
photo
it's-
when I was 20 pounds lighter, probably, or like 50 pounds lighter.
But see,
Do you update that regularly?
But see, that's more common with girls,
Yeah.
and this is why when I first started using online dating apps, it was my guy cousins. One of my guy cousins actually sat me down and said, "Elisa, be careful, because a lot of the girls that I've asked out on dates look nothing." Absolutely nothing like what they do in their photos. So you have to be careful because girls love Instagram filters. They love photoshopping their faces. They love doing all this makeup and and then you meet them in person and it's just like, this is not what I swiped. This is not the person I swiped.
Oh.
But that being said,
So,
like with this guy, you found him interesting, you chatted with him. Like, is that such a disappointment? Do you feel like the betrayal of this photo was enough for you to like kick him to the curb?
Yeah, like a deal breaker.
Despite the fact that maybe you had
Yeah.
great conversation.
Well, no. So that was the thing. He turned out to be really interesting. He was a lot of fun. So it didn't turn out to be a deal breaker. However, I did get pretty drunk with him one night, and it just came. I'm a very upfront. I'm a very upfront and honest, and I like
This is
to keep things real, and like I truly believe that my keeping it real has saved me from a lot of horror stories. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even have online dating horror stories.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so-
lucky.
So with this guy, so I get drunk and I'm just like, you know what? You should change your photos on your app because none of them have you wearing glasses. And that really changes your face. And if you're gonna shave, like, do it before posting, So I just blurted all these things out and he was just like, oh my God.
You
Oh
take it
my
like a
God.
champ.
I didn't realize that when I was posting
So he wasn't hurt?
he laughed about it. I don't know if he was hurt about it, but he did change one photo.
Oh.
So he actually did change one photo to his current look.
Yeah.
And so I found that
Do you approve that?
funny.
Did you
like,
yeah, that,
wow,
that,
he
that's what you
actually
look like.
he actually listened to my advice. He actually took it into consideration.
So you guys are friends?
So
Like, now it didn't work
Yeah,
out, but you
so
guys are
it didn't. Yeah, so it didn't blossom into into a 3-year relationship. But the good thing was that we did end up just becoming friends, and we talk every now and then, and I think he's seeing someone else already.
Oh.
So it turned out okay. It was good.
So I mean, I forget to like say ground rules here is just so that we don't embarrass anybody. We fully are freely giving our names, but we're not going to give the names of these people that
Definitely
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
we're
probably
not
wouldn't
here.
like that.
We're not here to chastise or embarrass
No.
anyone. We just
Yeah.
are here to really gain some sort of knowledge in this and like maybe help whoever's listening decide. I think the biggest question I've always wanted to know is like, how do you know when the guy just wants
to
You
have
know?
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if he's looking for something serious.
Yeah, like how often do you swipe, what's it, left or right? Right
Right.
is right
Yeah,
is
so left is not hot.
Yeah.
And right is hot.
so right is right.
right
Oh my
is
God.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm pretty shallow, and so my hotness scale is pretty high. So I usually swipe left maybe 100 times before I swipe right once, because there's just a lot of people on online dating apps these days. It's sort of already become the new normal.
Yeah.
To meet people online rather than sit through dinner and spend money and make an effort over something you're not even sure is gonna work out or not.
Especially
you
like
know?
with the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, especially with the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like just as an aside, how different has COVID-19 pandemic dating been?
Well,
Like,
you
versus-
met
yeah.
this
Yeah,
not
so
so upfront with his picture guy during the pandemic, did you not?
Yeah. So dating during the pandemic, you have to be extra careful about actual meetups. So there's this a structure where you can chat, you can Zoom chat, you can meet
okay.
each other online, get to know each other first, make sure you isolate for 2 weeks before you actually meet in person.
Okay, very responsible, yeah.
Because you
Well,
have
she
to
is,
be.
yeah.
Well, I am.
Hopefully other
I don't
people
know
are too.
what other people are doing, but
But
I think that is the
yeah,
responsible
would-
thing to do.
I would give that as advice to people out there who are on online dating apps, that there's no harm in actually taking the necessary precautionary steps, because you don't want to get COVID and you
Don't
don't
wanna
want to
give it to
pass it
someone, yeah.
around, and these are
Especially if you live with
complete
people,
strangers.
your parents, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Especially here in the Philippines, right?
Yeah. Everyone lives with their parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
Exactly.
another question I have is, so you use 3 apps, is that right?
Yeah. So
Which of-
Tinder,
yeah.
Bumble, and OkCupid.
Which I guess, like, what is your critique of the 3 and which one do you use
So
the
is the
most?
stigma right? Like, is Tinder really just mostly
Yeah,
for...
people keep saying it's about hookups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of my friends say Tinder is just for hooking up. They actually say it's full of garbage, because that's where you find all the weirdos and the eccentrics, and sometimes you even find married couples looking to swing.
Oh.
And you find like all walks of life on Tinder, like the whole lesbian gay community, like everyone is just on the same app, and everyone is looking for different things.
Okay.
Bumble is I would say is a step up from Tinder, in the sense that the girl is protected because she has to make the first move.
What do you mean by that?
When you match with someone, the girl has to introduce herself to the guy. So the guy is not allowed to straight up harass her.
Yeah, the girl
You
has
need-
to message first.
The girl has to message first.
So if the girl doesn't message, it expires. The
it
link
will
expires.
expire. Yeah. So
Interesting, right?
And the moment you unmatch on Bumble, they ask you right away if there was a problem, or if you want to report the person, if he was harassing you. So it's I guess it's safer for women to be
Yeah.
on Bumble. And the feedback I've received from a lot of guy friends is that Bumble has more quality women. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I heard that also, yeah.
So
Quality,
I
like in what, looks, or like
For
maybe
relationships, I
looks
think.
or relationships, like they're not just looking for hookups, they're
Yeah.
looking for something more meaningful.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then for OkCupid, I would say OkCupid is really for serious relationships,
Mhm.
because OkCupid is the one app where they really like interview you before they even make your profile public.
Oh, that's
And
the
they-
intense interview.
Intense
Okay.
interview, and then they even ask you to write a summary about yourself
What?
to share with everyone, just so that you're not wasting people's time. People aren't wasting your time. You read the profile, you read the questionnaire, and then you decide for yourself is this person right for me or not? And OkCupid is the app that has the algorithm that will actually match you.
Mhm.
So whenever you go on a profile, it's gonna say 90% compatibility or
Oh.
50% compatibility, and then you can click on that and see how they came up with that data.
But I think the interviews are kind of like also to get rid of the catfishers and the
Yeah.
bogus accounts. 'Cause
Yeah.
why would you go through all of that
trouble?
Well, I mean, I hope that's what
Well,
is happening.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like so going back to that question of, let's say you did see someone, as you like to put it, hot
yeah.
on Tinder, and you're like, damn, this guy's
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
I want to see what this guy's about.
Mm.
And let's say you've swiped yes to 10 of these guys on Tinder or
Yeah.
Bumble.
Yeah.
And you start conversations with 10 guys. So let's round it off to 5.
Mm-hmm.
Some might reply, some might not. How do you decipher which ones you want to actually meet up with? Like you said, you've only met up with like what, 3?
3. Only 3.
And you've been on this app for
for years.
Years,
Wow.
yeah.
On this app for
restraint, right?
maybe
Restraint, yeah.
a total of 2 years on and off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm very careful when it comes to meeting up, because I always keep in mind these are complete strangers.
Yes.
Their entire profiles could be fake. Everything they say about themselves could be fake. You know, I think it's already become the norm to Google the person once they give you their last name and their birthday, where they
Or
went to school.
Check their Instagram,
Yeah.
who
Check
their
their
friends
Instagram,
are.
Common friends, that's right.
Facebook, check LinkedIn also, to see if they actually exist.
Hi, I'm not on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I don't take care
I
of my
don't
life. We
exist.
don't exist.
Don't exist.
But I think the most, like what I mentioned earlier, one of the most important things is keeping it real.
Yeah.
And I have quite a good gauge just with chatting with someone. I have quite a good radar when it comes to feeling them out, even just through conversation. So a lot of guy friends have told me, communication, they'll purposely ask questions because they're purposely testing the woman to see how real she is, or how genuine she is, or if her profile actually matches the conversational pieces that you have. And for me, I
So
do
like
a
say for
lot
example,
of
if you say
talking.
I like books, they want to be like, so what are your favorite books? Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Okay.
So if your profile says, I love reading books, then they ask you, oh, what was the last thing you read? And then you name some, I don't
50
know.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. So they're like, oh,
that
that
kind
kind
of
of reading.
Hey, it's still reading.
Yeah.
So,
Better than not reading.
That's true.
yeah. Or they put on their profile. There's this one thing that women like to put on their profiles, that they only date sapiosexuals.
What does that
So
mean?
sapiosexuals means smart people. Like they're not pretentious.
Where's my Google?
They're
when
not.
need
I
it?
know we should
Give it to me.
Google that. We
Google
should
it right
Google
now.
that.
Do a Google.
What
Sapio-
the F is a sapio?
sapiosexual meaning.
I mean,
Okay.
why don't I mean? Am I
So-
stupid for not even knowing
So
this?
We're not woke.
sapiosexual is an adjective of a person finding intelligence sexually attractive or arousing. So an example would be, I met a PhD student from Germany who told me that he was sapiosexual. So the woman is saying, I'm attracted to personality and intelligence. I'm not attracted to looks.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, which is
bullshit, because how would you know?
No,
Like,
because
I mean,
if Chris Hemsworth dropped his pants and said, I would, you know, I wouldn't be like, you have to prove that you're intelligent. to me."
yeah.
I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth, if you're listening. I'm sorry. Sorry for her.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
Yeah.
of course, intelligence is attractive. I mean,
yeah,
but it's
so is hotness.
but that is the most
right?
pretentious piece of shit I've ever heard.
No, I
Yeah.
feel like you said it to me once, like you always have to find, I mean, maybe the person's not attractive to everyone, but you have to be attracted
Correct.
to someone. Not necessarily
Yes.
like they're super boom hot,
Yeah.
but they're attractive.
and there are a lot of
but
intelligent
women,
people who
women
aren't.
have made, they've gone to the extreme of saying that they're only attracted to intelligence. But if you think about it,
Then you
there's
could
so
marry a
many
computer.
levels of intelligence. Exactly.
This is true. This is
There's
true.
so many
I just said
definitions
this is
to
true.
intelligence. And I think if he's intelligent, he may as well be hot too.
Yeah.
Especially
This
if
is-
you're gonna look at him every day.
They only test for like 5 IQs, but really there's like a spectrum of 20 something, 26, 28,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, someone could be terrible at their maths and their logic even, and that's what's being tested for.
Oh,
but
yeah,
they
that's a
could
good
be
point.
very
Yeah.
good at music or spatial.
Yeah.
Well, no, they test for spatial.
Or they're artistic.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
So that I find that
Yeah.
quite pretentious, but
Very pretentious.
It's very
because you're
pretentious.
right off the bat already saying I'm smart
Yeah.
and you're not.
which means they're
So-
probably the dummest person in the room. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
mean, like, if you can say that you want to find
I
someone
only want smart.
yeah, you
people.
better prove to yourself. You
Like,
better
okay,
prove
so-
that you're smart.
And,
How
and
smart
I will
are
tell you
you
this now,
to
dating
begin
someone
with?
who's quite smart, they are the meanest.
no,
They can be very smart. People have a tendency to be impatient, or at least people who are, you know what I mean. Like
I like to put as many filters in getting to know someone before I actually make an effort to meet them in person, because you don't know, LinkedIn could also be fake. Their social media accounts could also easily be fake. So yeah, a lot of suggestions, even from guys, they say like, make your first date maybe a group meeting, or maybe
yeah,
make
that's a
sure
good
it's
idea.
in the daytime.
yeah.
Like, go to a public place.
Tell
make sure
people
there
where
are a
you
lot of
are.
people, tell people where you are. Give them the time and place just in case anything happens. Obviously, if you get invited to go back to his place, that's totally up to you or not. But you have to be just as careful with online dating as you would be on a blind date or a setup or meeting someone in a bar or a club, because you have to remember these are complete strangers. And social media and the internet has given us the opportunity to pose as anyone we want to be. We can make up our own personality and no one would ever know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to tread with caution, and it's good to always be careful.
So how do
Better
you know if
safe
somebody
than
just wants
sorry.
a good time? I mean, and of course that it's fine. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not judging those who are in there just for sex, because if you got
Yeah.
an itch, go ahead, scratch
I mean,
it.
be safe.
Yeah.
Like, better not hurt
Yeah.
someone. Make sure it's consensual and be safe.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
And I think sexuality in the right context can be beautiful, is good, but obviously depending on what you're looking for, how do you know if a guy just wants to hook up
So there are different ways, but it's pretty basic. First filter would be his profile.
Yeah.
Like he will say, here for fun, looking for hookups, no to serious relationships.
Okay.
And some guys will even go to the extent of saying, please don't waste your time with me if you're looking for someone serious.
Wow.
So
Strong
yeah,
words.
they're very upright and honest. And it's the same for women. They'll say like, I'm not looking for hookups. I'm not looking for fun. I'm looking for something serious. So it works both ways. That's the first filter. The second filter would be when you're already chatting, when you're already in the hi, hello, and he asks you out right away. So he asks you to come over after like 2 days of chatting, or he asks you like, so when do you want to meet? Or yeah, like I'd love to see you in person. So that's already like, okay, strike two. He's just looking to hook
Maybe
up.
he's just trying to see if you
Because-
look like what you look like
Okay,
in your
so
photo.
wait, you can do Zoom
So
call, right?
So I've actually encountered someone as forward as saying, I'm just looking for fun. Would you like to see a picture of my penis? Oh my god, are you allowed to say that?
I think it's okay. It's fine. It's
You
fine.
can mute that later
I mean,
on.
you can bleep
edit
it.
Yeah, let's bleep that. So yeah, there
Fix it
are
in
guys who just like, they just don't give a they're just like, I want to show you my cock, it's up to you if you want to taste it or not.
What? Oh my
And, yeah, and you're just like, okay,
Amazing.
I'm very polite.
Yeah.
I take pride in being very
Yeah.
polite. I never really lose my cool because I mean, look, these
To each
are
his own.
horny guys. Who can blame them? I am good looking. They probably got excited with my photos. So I normally just say, no, thank you. Or if you insist, I'll unmatch you. I not to be rude, but no, I'm not interested. in
She's still really
seeing your-
nice about it. I think
your
I would have been like,
private
oh
parts."
no, bye, blocked.
I think it's good to be nice to people because at the end of the day, everyone is taking a risk on this thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
And I'm sorry, but like in the landscape of Filipino culture, for some reason, our boys have turned into what we like to call torpe, right? Like, I don't know what it is
Something,
about
yeah.
Filipino culture wherein it's very unlike the United States, wherein people will just go up to you in a bar.
It's because
Here
people
it's
try
like-
to shame you about it, and I don't think that you
Yeah.
should be
Yeah,
ashamed for trying to look for your life partner.
right.
Well, if
Maybe.
that is what you're
yeah.
But you shouldn't even be ashamed of what maybe it's because we're ashamed of our sexuality here. Even the guys are affected by it. But
maybe
so I mean, I guess if you're not face to face, it's easier to be like,
It is.
"Here's
Yeah. They're
Here
much
it is, you know?
they're much more confident. And this is actually a study. There's this YouTube channel called Soul Pancake where they actually do a study on why people are more confident
Online.
when they're online.
Yeah.
And it's because like they're dealing with complete strangers.
Mhm.
There's not, it doesn't feel
There's no
like
shame.
rejection
Yeah.
because you don't even know the person.
and you can turn it off and like
and
separate yourself.
And if you don't like where it's going, you can easily unmatch
Yeah.
and never have to deal with that person ever again.
You put yourself
So-
out there, and there's really very little repercussion because again,
Yeah.
you can just it's over.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it didn't work out.
So there's
On to the next.
Yeah, unlike if you were set up by a friend or you're set up, through
Yeah,
common
exactly.
friends,
And then your friends
date
hear the
goes
stories.
sour,
That's
and then they're
great.
like, "Oh my god,
Wait,
that's really bad."
I just had a really funny thought. Like, what if like you were crazy one night, right? Like you're drunk and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, send me the pic, and then he sends it to you, and then you guys meet up in person. You're like, wait, this is not your pic.
Right?
Unmatched.
It's unmatched.
But you're already in front of him, like, leave.
but what do you do? Bye.
Yeah.
Holy
No,
I
but
think that has happened with
With you?
No,
No.
so there a lot of guy friends talk about lady boys and transgender.
Mhm.
Like they, because
Okay,
like I
okay.
said, like they can make a profile, they can seem really
And they're not
nice,
upfront
they can
about
get
it, right? They're
along.
not-
Yeah, and then it's only when they get to the
'Cause there are some
physical
really beautiful
meeting.
ones.
yeah, there's nothing wrong, okay, with being transgender or whatever. But the point is that you should be upfront with whoever you're talking
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I will always say keeping it real is the most important.
So it's happened.
thing.
There's been friends who've like met up and
Yeah,
that's
they
happened.
met up and they realized, okay, this is a guy, this is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And also like, also when meeting girls, it's like if a guy tells you up front, I'm only looking for sex,
You should take it
take it
as
like
is.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Don't try to change this guy.
try and
'Cause he's so
look for
good-looking,
something
you know.
more.
No, because people
Or-
only change by so much, right? If that's what they're
Yeah.
looking
Yeah.
for, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the girl falls in love and gets attached, and the guy's all like, well, I told you what I wanted from the start,
Yeah.
and now, now there's a problem because it's
Mhm.
not working out the way I wanted it to. So, yeah, this is why if you're looking for something serious, take as much time as you need in getting to know the guy because he will make an effort to get to know you.
That's good advice.
and he will make an effort.
If he's interested. Correct.
Yeah. If you tell him, I only want to chat with you for this X amount of time, he'll say, okay, then let's chat for this X amount of time.
Okay.
You want to meet after a month's time? Okay, I'll ask you out on a date after this time, And it's the same with women. A lot of women say that they're looking for something serious.
Yeah.
But when they get to meeting the guy, they jump
jump
into
into
bed
bed
with
with
him
him,
right
yeah.
away. So the guy's like, oh,
I got what I
I
wanted.
thought
sort of.
I was, I thought we were gonna get to know each other. I thought we were gonna go out on a couple of dates. I thought,
So consistency in messaging is
yeah,
important. Okay.
yeah, exactly.
What I find kind of
Consistent
funny.
and persistent.
Yeah. What I find kind of funny is like I've talked to people in the past who have been like scared to go on dating apps because they're like, oh no, maybe if like I'm there, what if my office mate sees me? And I'm like, that means your office mate is on the app. Why are you embarrassed?
This
There's
is true.
like I don't
Yeah.
understand.
That has crossed my mind though. Like, even as a person
Yeah.
who's never been on it, to be like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't want people who like relatives or whatnot
Yeah,
knowing that I'm on this thing. Or that would
Yeah.
be weird.
yeah.
Have
Well,
you ever seen?
Yeah, I have seen a couple of colleagues and a couple of friends. I don't really point it out because I don't want to be rude. Maybe they're not comfortable talking about it.
But you should point it out if they have
depending-
like girlfriends or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, I saw
of
you.
course, if they're in
What are you doing here?
relationships.
Or you could even say it like, hey, I think somebody's using your profile picture
Yeah.
on Tinder.
That happened recently with
Yeah.
me. I had to message a friend. I was like, did somebody like snag your account or something? Like because she was
Why
there.
are you on Tinder?
No. My friend forwarded me a
Oh.
picture of her. He was like, why is she on Bumble? And then she has a boyfriend. And I was like, you want me to ask? So
Yeah.
I asked. I was like, dude, is someone using your picture? Because it was a pretty picture. And then she was like, no, I actually like did something in my profile. I deleted, or I don't know what she did. She had to do something, and then she was like, "Don't mind it. I'm not broken up with my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Ignore it."
Yeah, so that's actually my last relationship. So a friend of mine actually found out after he and I broke up. I didn't really talk about it to a lot of my
Yeah.
friends. I kept it quiet for a while. But then randomly one night, a friend messaged me because she had seen my ex on Bumble.
Oh,
And she freaked
It's
out
like the
because
new-
she
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, what happened? Why is he on this app? And I told her, oh, we've been broken up for 2 months now.
oh wow. Okay.
So that's totally fine. I just haven't really been ready to talk about it or tell people about it. And she's just like, okay, I was just making sure, because you guys have been together forever.
Mhm.
It's just a shock, and he's obviously an idiot. So yeah, so it does happen. One time this colleague of mine messaged me and said, hey, I saw you on Tinder. And the thing is, I had swiped left when because he's
Yeah.
not my type.
And it's
Obviously.
weird. Yeah.
He's not my type, so I swiped left. So he messaged me and said, hey, I saw you on Tinder. So I wasn't really sure how to respond to that because for me, it's like, okay, I saw you too, and we're obviously not a match, so why are we even having this conversation?
That's
so
weird. Okay.
yeah, so
or maybe he did swipe right.
Yeah, and he was like, "What happened?"
That was him calling you out. Like,
calling me out that
dude?
I hadn't swiped right.
Or he could have been like, "Oh, I didn't see you."
Yeah, right? So there's so many answers you can give when you receive a message like that. But when he told me that, I just said, oh yeah, that's because I'm single. Obviously.
God.
And
and I'm ready to mingle.
and
Yeah,
I'm
don't
not
use these
ready
apps
to
if you're in a
mingle with
relationship.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
god.
Yeah.
One of my friends actually told me one time that when she was swiping, she saw her brother. He was in the roster, and she was like, "Yuck!"
Weird.
Yeah.
See, I mean, that is pretty weird.
Yeah.
Like, I have a younger brother who's like in his late 20s, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming this is the kind of app he'd eventually
Because he's
use.
single, right? Yeah,
Right?
of
Yeah.
course.
And I
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
Now, do they match age groups?
You have a choice of your age range. So yeah, so I
I'd
think
put
it's
like a
like
younger.
from 15 and- oh well,
I wanna date a younger guy.
I do know.
Yeah, why
I
not?
do know a story of this guy. He matched with this girl who said she was 40 years old, and when they met up in person, she actually was 50 years old. So he
Wow.
he was, he's like, that's pushing it. Thanks, but no thanks.
That's a 10-year. Yeah,
That's like menopause
That's-
and not menopause, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a big
Wow.
age.
Some people menopause at 50.
So yeah, it is possible to lie about your age on these online.
Because they don't
dating
check anyway. They don't ask
apps.
for
Yeah.
ID.
No.
Okay.
They don't
So
ask.
what's your age range? I'm just curious.
What?
Come on, dude. I've never asked you this
So
question.
my age range is like
We don't need this.
my age
Like-
range is I'm not gonna say my age.
Yeah, obviously.
But I will say that my age range is from 25 to 45.
No, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say her
because
age.
Yeah.
you know, it's like what I mentioned. I don't specify what I'm looking for on online dating apps because if it's a hot young guy, I mean, why not, right?
And
Have
you're
some
single.
fun. Or it could be a hot, mature guy.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of
You
those,
know,
right? Yeah.
age is really nothing but a number at
That's
the end of
true.
the day. So
As long as they're legal.
as
Yeah.
long as they're legal.
Oh, speaking of which,
you
are you
know.
allowed to join
Yeah,
an
what's
app if
the-
you're
what's
not
the age?
18?
I think it's 18 or 21.
Because
depending on
21 would be the
country
States.
Yeah,
Right?
depending which country.
Honestly, guys, if you're 18 and above, you should not be dating a 12-year-old.
Also, consent is important. I always tell like my nephew, like, you better get consent. 100% sure.
You know, I find it sexy when a guy's like, is this okay? Are you
Definitely,
okay with this?
definitely. And I think that personally for me, that would be one of the things I look for when I'm having conversations with the guys that I meet online.
Yeah.
You know, because that does count and that will come into play if it does develop into a relationship later on. So yeah, that's a good thing to point out because even as early as chatting or talking on the phone or Zoom calls,
Mhm.
you know, you already want to see that side of the guy or even from the girl, you
Yeah.
know, that you're respectful of each other's sexuality, you're respectful of each other's
Comfort levels.
comfort
Yeah,
levels. You
your
want there
boundaries.
to be yes, exactly. Boundaries are very important to set, and respecting those boundaries is crucial to the development of the relationship.
I have a
So-
funny story related to that. Sorry. So I have this like some of my I guess the term now is like you can bleep it out, but you know, F boy, right?
Yeah.
So
I just learned this. I just
Star Boy as what's his name? Was that Weekend? Who sang that
Yeah.
song?
Wait, because
Star boy
I only
is the
learned this
term.
I only learned this term
recently,
this year.
yeah,
This year.
yeah, it's pretty
I
new.
heard that word.
So like, cause
Wouldn't the olden day term be like a rake?
yeah, or like a playboy,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like from rake to playboy to
Yeah.
now the
F
more
boy,
yeah.
yeah.
okay.
So I have some friends who were like very openly, admittedly slutty, and one of them was hooking.
I
up.
don't like that term.
Slut.
Sexually
Uh,
adventurous.
promiscuous. I don't know.
I mean, it's
Open.
good to have.
Okay.
Yeah, they're open.
They were
Yeah.
sexually okay. So he was very open. He didn't have a relationship. He was hooking up with a lot of girls. The girls were hooking up with him. You know, consent. And he was with a girl of I feel like I'm being careful not saying where this person's from, but she was from a different culture. And when they were in bed, she kept saying no, no, and then so he would stop.
Yeah.
And then she would be like, "What the hell are you doing? No means yes." And he was just like, "I don't
That's kinda
know
creepy.
what to do." Because apparently, according to their culture or this person's culture, it's good to pretend to be coy so that you're not the word you don't like, slut.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really don't
It's
like using
very
that word.
misleading.
Like I would only and I'm probably a hypocrite because I've probably used that word on people I really dislike.
Yeah.
But like I don't like using it in
because
terms
it's supposed
of,
to be like a bad word.
yeah, it's more to do with me just disliking you as a
No,
human being
yeah.
in general. If I ever use that term, but like for somebody who just likes to have sex,
Yeah.
I hate slut shaming people because I
Yeah, no, we don't slut shame. We're not slut shaming anybody. You guys do you, just be safe.
No,
That's it.
I mean, I'm not trying to be politically correct or anything. It's just that I think it's a term that like even ugly. I don't like using that word ugly unless
You have a bad personality.
like this person has a really
Yeah.
bad. I could never call someone ugly unless I think this person's ugly. Like
Yeah,
as a person.
inside. Yeah, no, I agree.
that girl's-
Exactly.
You know.
Nobody is ugly unless you're terrible.
But so I guess we can part on that. But any advice you you think is important to give somebody who's about to start their journey?
Like I mentioned earlier, keep it real. Starting with your photos. Don't worry so much about the filters. If you believe you're beautiful inside, then it will show in your photos. Keep them up to
I'm sorry,
date.
you're gonna laugh. You really should be like,
Although some
Yeah.
of us are just extra blessed. So, don't be...
you're coming off really self-assured here.
She was talking about other people.
No, she's talking about herself.
Keep your photos up to date and current. Remember that the photos that you post, if you eventually start dating this person, they're gonna see you every day. So might as well, cut through the drama and keep it real. When you talk about yourself, be honest. Be as honest and upfront as possible with what you want, with what you're looking for.
Because at the end of the day, even if they don't like you, at least they didn't like you for who you were and not someone you were pretending to be.
Yeah.
Right?
And I guess the last piece of advice would be to be careful. We always get lost in the kilig and the giggle and the romance and the cheese and all that, stuff you see in romantic comedies. But we have to remember that we're conversing with complete strangers. So we have to tread with caution, get to know them, get a good feel of them. I don't like saying listen to your gut because your gut could be wrong. It could be, especially when the guy's extra hot. You don't know if it's your gut or something lower down there thinking for you.
And do you feel like knowing what you want in specific is also so important to be, because in order to be honest, you have to first be honest, I'm assuming, with yourself.
Yes, definitely.
And you have to be like, you know what, I just came out of a 3-year relationship. I just kind of want to like have fun right now.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, you can change your mind and be like, okay,
exactly.
I'm ready for...
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why it's important to keep your profile updated as well as your photos. Because yes, you can change. Maybe you decided to get a makeover. Let people online know that, or maybe 2 months ago you were only looking for fun. 2 months later, you're now looking for something more serious. So, it's important to be honest about that. And I guess one last thing I want to share is that if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. Because there is literally thousands of people signing up onto these online dating apps every day. Millions even. And everyone's looking for love. Maybe some people a little less than love. But just don't give up looking for what you want, if it's what you really want. So, I'm so cheesy. What the heck?
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for all the great advice. And
I'm doing so well with the hotness.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and I guess we hope that you like what you're hearing. Yeah. And if you want to know more, you have suggestions, we'll find a way for you guys to contact us.
we'll put it in the screen below.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes or whatever you guys know about. All right, bye.
Swipers Anonymous is a Mighty Media production. Our theme song is by Ian Amane, sound and production by Luis Cruz.
If you have questions, want to reach out, or want to be on the show, or just want to chat, contact us at milotiberiusmedia@gmail.com. That's MILOTIBERIUS media. milotiberiusmedia@gmail.com.